guys, so I wanted to give you a tour of our course. So I'm actually giving you a tour of my hybrid class. So if you're in the class that meets on Fridays, this is your course. If you're in my 119X or my 8-week course, this is a different course, but yours should look very similar. And I'll talk about some of the differences as we go. So first thing, you should drop in on a homepage. The homepage you can see here, it just has a banner. It has some helpful links that are going to take you to the syllabus, a welcome letter, some lecture notes. Those are what I lecture straight from. This is a whole PDF, but I do have them chunked by section later, which is a little bit nicer to download, especially if you're planning on printing them or doing anything with them at home. Having all the pages at once tends to not be ideal. But each week, what I'll be doing is I'll be posting the next week's module along with what the resources are, a video overview, and then the assignments that go with it. So in my 8-week class, there are 2 sets of assignments because they're doing 2 weeks of material at once. So that's why there are 2 columns. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with that in the hybrid and the 119X classes. So I haven't truly decided where that's going, what's going to happen here. But typically there should be a small little video of me telling you about the week, a link to whatever the resources are that are going to be useful for that week, and then a direct link into the module. And I'll try to move the little emoji to let you know sort of what week we're on. If you try to go into a week before you can, you're just going to get an error message saying it's not there yet. That exists. I'm just giving you a preview by letting you see where we're headed, but you're not going to be able to jump into that module until Sunday. If I'm ready early, sometimes those will be released a little bit earlier. Some things you will be able to jump into, you should be able to go into, I need to move that over, the different sections of the course, the different part 1 and part 2. I'll show you what those look like. And I'm going to jump right into the modules section right now since that was broken. So right now, and this will keep adding as we go through the course, you have a set of general resources. Those general resources, those are the entire set of lecture notes again, a link out to my YouTube channel, and then a bunch of other helpful texts. If you want a textbook, I personally don't use a textbook, but there are textbooks here that are fine. This is a publisher book. This is a great OER book that's a little bit more, I'll show it to you really quick, a little bit more seamless. It's got like questions embedded in it. You can jump around. It's not in the same order as ours, but what happens is as we jump into the certain sections, I will typically put you into the correct section of that textbook. But there's a lot of great resources here, as well as some others. So that's what the General Resources tab has. If you go into Exam 1 material, this is going to have everything that's up through Exam 1. So this is where you'll be able to see things a little bit early. And so this part 1 should have linked straight from that homepage, which is the thing I'm going to fix. But this will have the lecture notes, and this is a chunk of the lecture notes, only part 4. Should put you out to the playlist for that section of the lecture notes in my YouTube channel, so that way you don't have to go searching for it, because I have a ton of different playlists from all the different courses I've taught. A setup, sample problems, some worksheets, and again, these links should take you to the correct portions of those courses for what we're discussing in the class at that moment. And this is a tabbed page, so you can move to part 2, to part 3, and then when we get to the Exam 1, you have a ton of sample exams, study guides, and a review video available to you. So that's all in the modules in that first module, which is just sort of a resources tab. Now, right now, you have access to week 0. This is a module that's just set up to have you get acquainted with the course, so nothing here is really due. But if you're somebody who wants to be doing something, wants to see what the course is going to look like, wants to see my style, this gives you an opportunity to kind of dive in and play with that. After that, as you can see, week 1 is coming up, and the different headings will change depending on what class you're in. So if you're in my online class, there'll be a first half that's due on Thursday and a second half that's due on Sunday. If you're in my hybrid class, you're going to have stuff that's due before class on Friday, stuff that's due after class that following Sunday. And then the same thing for my 119X class. You're going to have stuff that's due before our Wednesday class and then before Monday again, so on Sunday again. So most of the time I try to break it up so that there's 2 due dates for the week, regardless of what course you're in, but that date of the first due date will depend on what type of course you're in. So I try to just split the week in half for the online class, but for the hybrid and for the 119X, it depends more on when our class meets. But you can kind of see a preview of what's going to be coming in that week here in that week 1 module. So just wanted to give you guys a brief tour. That's pretty much everything you need. I've made it so you have to get into these things through the modules. You also have a link to online tutoring in your grades. But this is it. Your home page is going to have an overview so you can jump right into a particular assignment. Again, these are not going to let you go in because Module 1 is closed, but I'm going to plan to put up the next week's module so you can kind of think about what's going on next week. Typically, I've done a lot of work to make sure that the amount of work you're doing each week is pretty similar. So once you get done with a week, you're going to figure out what the sort of requirements are for this course, how much time you're going to have to put in, and I'm never going to have a week that's a lot more or a lot less than that. So email me questions. Hopefully this is easy to find things in. If you have any trouble finding anything in Canvas, let me know because it's probably not just you.